Joe, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great. How are you doing, Preston?
I'm doing great, Joe. I'm glad you asked. Um, we have a great show lined up tonight. I know that I have a good feeling about it. I know you have a good feeling about it. We're just feeling good about the show tonight.
Yeah, we truly are.
Other than that, we want to welcome everybody to River Under the Bridge podcast with your host, Preston Olson,
With him
and
always, Joe Perry.
appreciate it, Joe. First topic of the night. This is something that is being brought up in the States a great deal, a big deal, a massive amount of deal with this issue right here. Now, basically, long story short, the House of Republicans has passed a bill that now allows for internet providers to sell your browsing history. Joe,
Ugh.
what is your first take on that when I
I just,
present
I
that?
just want to make the word "ugh" a word. It just makes me cringe. It's
Yes.
really sad that we're getting to this point because, okay, it could be used for good data research and it could be used for good sales or better research and just informative things about what we're looking at. But at the same time,
Yeah.
everybody's going to be exposed. Now, all these uh, bad news for celebrities and things like that. That stuff sells, and internet, their browser history or whatever, even before they're famous or whatever, even if it was them on their phone or on their browser at all, is going to be now. Someone's going to be able to buy that and post that.
Absolutely. You nailed it. Someone's going to be able to buy that. And let's put it in this type of scope. Now you're a person of
Right.
interest. For whatever reason, you're a person of interest. So whatever the reason is for you being a person of
Yep.
interest, basically what it comes down to is if the local government, federal government, uh, the the Canadian Parliament decides that they want to um, know something about this American, he was here, he had some business dealings here. We're trying to catch up with him because he's gone. Um, Now, whatever you were looking at on your phone browser, on a browser you might deem secure, is no longer secure or
Nope.
safe.
And now it's
Um,
known that it isn't. Before it just went under behind the scenes, under the dirt, under the carpet. But now it's like, no, we're passing a bill that yeah, it can be bought and it will be bought.
yeah, and there's no doubt the Senate has given its support, resounding support in the Senate for it. After it goes through the Senate, which is a Republican majority here in the states, after it goes through the Senate, it's going to go to right to the top to President Donald J. Trump, and he's going to have no problem signing this into law. He's going to have no problem at all signing this
Right.
into law. Um, the problem we're going to have here in the states, and this kind of just goes back without saying, is when is enough when it comes to privacy? That's a question everybody here is going to be reaching to
Right.
answer. Because right now, I can't answer that question for you because this, I can tell you now that I can tell you right now that this is not enough. This is enough for the government. This is going to have to go a step farther because this alone, um, to them, is pebbles. It's comparing pebbles to stones because this is not even close to what they want to accomplish. So just be on the lookout. Uh, we're just here trying to keep you informed. My opinion on it is it stinks to high heavens. I know Joe's not in favor of it. Lucky for him, he doesn't have to live in the States.
Right. Who knows? For all I know, the
Um,
the laws in here could already be passed.
very, that's very valid. That's a very valid thing to say. Joe, we're going to go ahead and move into the next topic. We're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about Master P tells TMZ he wants to be assistant head coach of the New Orleans Pelicans.
That's an interesting one. Uh,
I don't know how I feel about that.
Master P's he's known to be into the basketball, NBA, even participating in some charity things and stuff like that with kids and a lot related with basketball. And I'm sure he's very knowledgeable, but I don't think he's right for the job.
I don't think he's right for the job, Joe. Um, Robert Horry, a legendary basketball player. He came forward and he said, you got to pay your dues. You got to pay your dues if you're going to want to be an NBA coach of any
Yeah.
sort. Now, here's a fun fact. Uh, Percy Miller, also known as Master P, had a contract with two different NBA teams, the Charlotte Hornets during the 1998 preseason and the Toronto Raptors in 1999 preseason. He also played in the Continental Basketball Association for the Fort Wayne Fury. That's not too far from me. In 2004, he played for the ABA's Las Vegas Rattlers. He took part in the 2008 McDonald's NBA All-Star Celebrity Game and scored 17 points.
So this contract he had with the Raptors and who was it?
The Charlotte
Charlotte
Hornets
Hornets
at
at
the
the
time.
time. This was to be a player or a staff?
Player.
Wow. Well, that's interesting.
Yep. He was a player. He was big into basketball his whole life. Um and I think just how much money and everything, the returns he's seen from his music career. I mean, why pursue the NBA when everything is right there for you to take, as far as the music scene.
Right. Well, he did his thing, and maybe he just. I mean, today's music. It's not the same as it was when Master P was really putting out hits and stuff. So, uh,
True.
yeah, I
Not the
guess you
same.
do have to earn your
Totally.
stripes, especially when we're talking about professional basketball. We're talking about NBA, assistant head coach. I mean, it's not a small job. Um, I'm sure he would be good, maybe for Little League.
Little League, something
Yeah,
something just not around
maybe he could
professional because you're
coach
dealing
the
with.
Canadian Hedgehogs.
There you go. What does Oshawa have, a
Yeah,
semi-pro team,
they
right?
actually do.
Oshawa has.
It's
Okay.
called the what are they called? The Oshawa Heat.
Oh, all right. I like
Yeah.
that. Now, the great city of Joliet
Yes.
and our good friends in
Yep.
Joliet. Um, they got a semi-pro baseball team.
Interesting.
It's called the Joliet Jackhammers.
Jackhammers.
Yeah, one of my cousins had an internship there he did it for a year. He said he liked it. Said it was really interesting. It was really a fun
Right.
time, and I've actually went to one of the games and it was a
Right.
good time. Um, Joe, you brought this up to my attention. You brought this to my attention. This was something that was really cool. I was telling you about a camping trip I'm planning on
Okay.
taking, and then you threw this at me. Go ahead.
Well, it's something I spotted on Bloomberg, and it's something that I think someone who's an outdoors person or just likes even cool gadgets that are kind of reinventing how we live and how we appreciate camping. It's the
Hmm.
BioLite Camp Stove 2. Now, this little camp stove right here, it's really different in a few ways because one, it employs thermoelectric technology that turns your cooking heat into usable electricity via USB. So charging your phone, charging your
Wow.
tablets, probably even a computer, a lot of different things. Now, it goes for about 130 bucks, but let me tell you why. This 2-pound stove comes in two parts. There's a body and then the canister, and it's about the size of, let's say, the large can of beer, those really wide ones.
Yeah,
It's about the size of that.
like a can of Fosters, like a can
Exactly,
of Fosters.
exactly. And on the side there's three columns, LED lights, and there's sort of gauges that marks your fan strength, your fan speed, and then your
Oh,
battery life. Because the fan actually helps with the combustion chamber, and it pushes your flame stronger and makes your cooking time a lot faster. So this little mini stove can actually boil water in less than 5 minutes, um, and it's got a really cool, sleek design. I just think this is really cool because for one, you could charge your phone on it. It's a really powerful stove. It comes with an extra grill so you don't have to just boil water. It comes with a grill big enough to make up to two burgers on it, and you really don't have to worry about running out of heat while you're cooking because it's really easy. Like it goes on. You start the flame with kindling sticks, things like that, right? In the little
okay.
chamber. Now, when you're cooking, it's
Yeah.
actually not too hard to actually keep sticking sticks in there, so you don't really have to worry about running out of time if you're actually making a little barbecue.
Okay. I like that, and I think it could turn into a project for the whole family.
Exactly.
So you're getting things ready for the campfire, then you're getting things ready for the stove. Hey, we got the fire, we got our stove
Right.
over here. If you got a lot of people on the campsite, everybody's not, hunched over the campfire. You're all, kind of, you got a little bit more room to move around. You
Yeah.
know, the adults need a little bit of peace. Here you go, kids. Here's a stove
Yeah.
for you. And you go over there and help them out and show them what to do. And I mean that it turns into a project for the whole family. That is an awesome invention. I hope it
Let me
excels.
just
I
yeah, let me
really
just
do.
touch on this one more thing. Now, I
Okay.
know you're not supposed to mix technology and the outdoors and camping. I know that. But
Right.
a lot of the
Right.
time people are going out with their entire family, like you're saying. So kids are gonna want to go on their iPads and their phones and to watch their shows, or go on, like, they're gonna want to do this at the very end of the night or in the morning. And it's also helpful to have a phone in case of emergency. Yeah, you're out in the wild or out in the forest camping, have a cell phone with you. Worst comes to worst, you could try to make a call. Whether you didn't have your phone and you left it at home, you wouldn't be able to make that call.
Right. You wouldn't be able to make that call, let alone have to go and use somebody else's phone from another
Right.
campsite, or go where you check in at and ask them to
Right.
use the phone, and that's embarrassing. You don't want
Even
to
if
have to
there
do
is
that.
one of those check-ins, sometimes.
If there is check-ins, yeah, a lot of times there is, but if there isn't, I mean, then that's even more of a problem for you. It's more of a reason to have this. Joe, this is a great invention. Um, I like the way you described it. I want one of these. If not this camping trip, next camping trip, I'd love to have one of
Agreed. Me
these.
too.
I know we're going to talk about something that's, very interesting here, and it's a great man, and Frank Martin. Now, Frank Martin has had a hell of a life. He's started literally at the bottom. He's the head coach of the University of South Carolina. This is the first time South Carolina is ever going to a Final
Yeah.
Four. You can owe a big credit to the players, the staff, but let's give credit where credit's due and give it to the coach and Frank Martin. And we're going to talk today about his first jobs.
Okay.
His first jobs. First job, Dairy Queen employee. He then became a change boy at a billiards hall.
Okay.
He then was a dishwasher. He was a busboy. He was a waiter. He became a short order cook. This is where it gets interesting. He becomes a bartender. He has fun doing that. He becomes a nightclub bouncer. He starts to figure out his passion, where he wants to go in his life, what he wants to do for a career. He becomes a JV high school coach. Well, to coach, you got to be able to
Right.
teach. He became a math teacher. After being a math teacher, he took the next step and took himself into varsity coaching. And my friends, it just goes to show you, you could start
Yeah.
anywhere and end up at your destination, your goal, your dream
Truly
job.
can.
And he's there. He's
It
there.
seems like he had every job a restaurant has to offer.
Every job a restaurant has to offer, um, and then some.
So that's a really interesting
And
success story. It just kind of sheds some light on, there's possibilities for anybody. Don't let anything set you back.
exactly, exactly. Stick to the grind. Stick to the grind. No one said being an entrepreneur was easy. No one said starting with a few dollars and a car is going to be easy. You have to make it your own.
Right.
This man did. Proof is in the pudding. Joe, this is something I want to bring up. Little entertainment action, little movie action. Stephen King brings back It.
Woo! Can you say that again? Stephen King brings back It?
He is bringing back
Oh
It.
God.
One of the scariest damn movies I've ever seen.
Easily probably one of the scariest movies of the 80s, if not almost all time, especially for people who
All
are
time.
scared of clowns or just get freaked out by clowns. The
Yeah.
uncomfortability in this movie, especially watching as a child, is incredible, and it sticks with you the rest of your life. And this movie was so scary. Um, it's gonna be a hit. We know it's gonna
This
be a hit.
this movie will make your neighborhood look different, okay? This movie, if you go and watch the first It, all right, and wherever you live, it's going to make you look at your neighborhood different, all right? It just will. And it did to me when I was a kid and I seen this movie, and it'll do it to you no matter what age, because this movie is, of course, a Stephen King, drama, horror movie, but it's also not far from the unfortunate reality that's in the real
Right.
world. Besides a few things in there, this is not far from actual reality and actual serial killer type activity. Um, so I will also say that if you have a clown fear, this is not the movie for you to see to get over it. So I'll let you now. Um, I'll also put it on the table and say that it's going to drop September 8th, 2017. So it's a ways off. But it's got a trailer up. You can go check it out on the International Movie Database, and it's up there. All the information's here, and basically, in a small town of Derry, Maine, 7 children come face to face with life problems, bullies, and a monster that takes the shape of a clown called Pennywise.
Yep. And I just wanted to touch on this. This production has actually been going on since 2009.
Whew.
Um, they had a bunch of problems with some budget cuts and some directors leaving the film, and just things like that happen. But you know it's going to be something serious and something to really set in stone because it's been in production a long time.
It's been in production a long time. It's going to be the technology of today and not yesterday. Um, Joe, is there anything else you'd like to
You
add
know
on
what?
that?
That's it. Sleep with your light on tonight, people.
Sleep with your light on, please do. Uh, we're getting into the next segment of the show. We love
Love it.
this segment right off the bat. Joe, go ahead and introduce it if you'd like.
Face off of the week. Possibly a
Woo!
fan favorite. We're not too sure. Comment down below which of our segments you guys like the best. So, for the face
Absolutely.
off of the week, we decided, you know what, Preston? We love food. We love wine, cheese, food. Why aren't we talking about more food? So
Yeah,
today,
I agree.
we have the munchies, and we're doing kettle cooked chips versus fried traditional chips.
Yes, absolutely. It's such a great idea.
Yep.
Now, there's a difference between the kettle chips and standard potato chip, and it's the cooking process. Where your basic bag chip is fried on a conveyor belt like continuous process. Kettle chips have a pre-industrial pedigree. They're made in batches. Basically, dunk a bunch of them, take them out, dunk a bunch more. Um, Kettle chips are crunchier because the process takes so much longer than the regular bag chip.
Right.
Now, I'm a big fan of fried chips. Okay, Lay's, Doritos.
Yeah,
I mean, you
all the good
name it.
stuff. All the good stuff that you know,
All
yeah,
all the good
is
stuff.
fried.
Funyun. I mean, we could just keep going on. Funyun. I mean, it just goes on forever. And here's the thing: I'm not opposed to kettle cooked chips. Um, I just believe that the fried chip suits me better, and it's basically a pedigree for my lifestyle. Because I love anything fried.
Well, I can't disagree with you there, Preston. Fried chips are amazing, and yeah, I'm never gonna turn down like a bag of Lay's ketchup chips. You know what I mean? Or like all dressed uh, Ruffles. I'm just not gonna turn it down.
Oh yeah.
But for
Nope.
me, I think I like kettle cooked chips better. They just seem like they have more time put in them. They seem like they're seasoned better. It's a proper crunch. I feel like you're eating more, even though you're probably eating less. I just a Miss Vicky's. Obviously, you're familiar with Miss Vicky's.
Miss Vicky's.
Those are
Yep.
all kettle cooked, are they not?
They are.
I love Miss Vicky's. And I think a lot of people can agree with
Hmm.
that. This is a really tough one. It really is. We really narrowed it down to the wire this week with the face-off. But I personally, Joe Perry, vote kettle cooked chips.
And I'm just going to have to split the vote here and say, my vote's going to go to fried chips. Even though I appreciate your argument there, I really understand that. There's a type of chip you probably don't have it out there. They run the trucks out here, and I don't know. I think they're just a privately owned company. They might be a public IPO. I just know the chips are damn good. They're called Vintners.
I haven't heard of it. No.
Okay, so Vintners is like a fried chip. I believe they do make kettle cooked
Okay.
chips though, but they're fried chips. You would think like, is this some type of off-brand? But no, it's an original brand. They're their own brand, and those particular fried chips I really enjoy. Um, just kind of threw that in there with the Miss Vicky's a
Yeah.
little bit.
Well, I definitely want to try
Yeah,
those.
yeah, absolutely. Because I know when you brought up Miss Vicky's, I mean those chips, those at the corner store,
Yeah.
or you can find them at Casey's General Store, or a lot of different places. But I know we're not going to see eye to eye on the face-off this week. Um, it's going to be all right because I know that if you had some kettle cooked chips there, you'd share them. So I'm not really worried about it. I treat you like a sharing type of guy.
I guess. Well,
Maybe.
I'm the type.
I
Here's
mean,
the thing. I'm the type of guy, instead of sharing, like I buy a bag of chips, and instead of sharing my chips with you, I'll just buy you your own bag and say, don't touch my chips. You have your own bag.
that's an
So that's
interesting take.
sharing. I shared because I spent money. You know what I'm saying? I went out and I still shared my effort to get us some munchies, but you got your own. If
Yeah, there's
you,
a
you
there's a
know what I'm
premium on your
saying?
type of sharing.
If you finish, then that's too bad. You finished your bag, bud.
Shouldn't have ate them
Yeah.
that fast. What are you doing
I'm
eating that
watching the
fast?
Canadian Hedgehogs right now. They're in OT. Okay, Preston.
Joe, that
Thank
was
you very
good.
much.
I appreciate that. Absolutely. The next topic, I know you're really interested in it, is the best feature of the week. And this week, it is an app solely, and we're going to go ahead and describe it as this: Flipagram. Flip a
Graham
gram.
sounds like a drug dealer's name.
It really does, and it's to be confused with Instagram, but it directly is in correlation with Instagram because you can bring moments to life, create short photo, video stories with your photos, video clips, and favorite music. So there's the difference between this sort of slideshow, lip sync, photo, video story app. You can also incorporate real music into it and make those Instagram videos pop. And make those videos you want to do a short, quick video on your phone, you make it stand out. Because you can throw a little song in there, a little headliner in there, and you can really mix it up. Um, you're only going to get into it you're only going to get out of it what you put into it. So if you don't put anything into this, you're not going to get a whole lot out of it. It's going to be end result, same thing you could have got on like PixArt or another photo slideshow editor. But this solely, I've seen people use it. I have it on my Android. I'll tell you, it's great. It's quick to use, very simple, scene by scene, step by step. We all love step by step. So this is exactly for you if you're that type of person that needs something quick, cut, and dry.
Yeah. I'm just gonna add that a lot of these. I'm just gonna call it a third-party Instagram app, even though it may not be directly, but I'm just gonna call it that.
Oh, I know what you.
Um, it
Yep.
seems like for a lot of these third-party Instagram apps or accessories, that they're kind of come and go. They're there for a few weeks or a month, and then they're
Wishy-washy,
wishy-washy. They're out.
fickle, little
I
fickle.
feel like Flipagram has kind of, although people don't use it heavily, I feel like it still doesn't
Right.
necessarily go away, and you're still seeing it pop
Nope.
up on your favorite pages and whatnot. And people are still using it here and there, so that's really cool.
Yeah. It's a really great app. If you don't have it, get it. If you don't want it, don't have it. But I'm just letting you know it's gonna make your videos pop. It's gonna make them stand out. It gives you another app to use besides maybe one that you're already familiar
Right.
with. Um, but that is our best app feature of the week. It is Flipagram. We're going to stamp that down, and we're moving forward, Joe. I'm going to give this segment over to you because I know you're locked and loaded. You are ready for this next
Okay,
segment.
people.
I mean, you have locked and loaded on that desk over there. I'm ready to hear this. Here we go.
This is the strange or weird things on the web segment of our show. Some people, they don't really like it. They get scared. We talk about some no limit things sometimes. So this week on Strange or Weird Things on the Web, we have a video of a maid in Singapore shown acting either possessed or like zombie-like. She's seen
Okay.
here in a black and white camera in Singapore, like I said, and she's clearly in the vision of the camera, and she's acting really weird. She's sitting on the ground. It really, really reminds me of The Ring. You know The Ring? It really reminds me of
Yes.
that character with the long black hair and like the one-piece dress type of thing. That's what these are the vibes I'm getting from this, and it's really interesting and weird. Is because uh, they whoever had handed this story, they ended up asking other maids what they feel about this video, if it's them acting or if it's them actually, quote unquote possessed. And a
Yes.
few of these maids aren't buying it. They're saying, quote unquote, it seems she doesn't want to work for you anymore. You better let her go. You don't want her to escalate her antics in order to leave your employment. So basically, what she's saying is, which I'll just try to put this in perspective, is a lot of these maids are probably trying to get citizenship within a different country, and they'll
Okay.
do things like take jobs that have contracts because maybe it's an easier cushion into getting your citizenship. If you show a different country that, hey, I want to be a citizen and I have a job lined up, and then you also tell them that I have a job lined up and it's actually contract work, that looks so much better because now it looks like, it's basically like this company or this family who wants a maid is they're bringing you in on contract, and they're sponsoring you pretty well. That's what I was looking for. They're sponsoring you. So
Okay.
I guess this is kind of a maid thing where maids, if they want to get out of the employment and get out of the contract, they act, possessed or weird or start doing weird things so they can just get kind of let go rather than fired and leave the country. They're just kind of like let go. So it's really weird. Yeah, I mean, do you have anything to say on that?
The only thing I could say is, that kind of gives people an idea, like, you know what, maybe I'm at a job, I just don't like this job, and I'm just going to start acting possessed. I'm just going to start, you know what, I'm sick of this
Yeah,
job. I'm sick of this boss. He's driving me up a
right.
wall. I'm just going to act like he's me feel. And there you go. So that could definitely be it. I would say that it's very well possible she was possessed.
It's really weird because it seems like when they showed different maids or different housekeepers this video, that they weren't shocked. They were like, "Yeah, don't buy it. Like, don't buy it. That's just acting. I've done it before," or something like that. So
That's
that's kind of
the
weird.
only thing exactly, Joe, and my only rebuttal to that is look at any ghost story, any ghost
Yeah,
show. Whenever someone talks about it, it gets brushed off at first until that activity escalates, or until someone's hurt,
right.
or until someone's psyche is messed up because of it. Otherwise, it gets brushed off. So that's the only thing I have to say about it is like, yeah, they can brush it off, but at the same time, they didn't do any research. They didn't do any type of looking into it. They're just looking at it for face value and saying no. So, I mean, I can respect that, but at the same time, it could be very well real, and you just don't know because you didn't do it,
Right.
you know. But at the same time, I think it's really
Uh-huh.
interesting. And you had an interesting topic. I think it was about coffee. if I'm
Yeah,
not
I'm going
mistaken.
to try something new on this podcast today, Preston. I'm just going to take the floor here. Basically, I'm going to
Okay.
do 5 hacks in under a minute. And this week is 5 coffee hacks every coffee lover should know and use. Okay? Ready to start the
Okay.
timer?
All right, and
Hack
go.
number 1, don't drink coffee first thing in the morning. There's actually a 2 hour grace period that you're going to want to consume at 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Hack number 2, store beans in the fridge. You paid money for those beans, open or not, keep them in the fridge, keep them fresh. 3, cinnamon instead of sugar. Way better for you. Different spice, change it up. 4, butter in your coffee. Look it up for hot brews. You're going to want to mix a lot of things into it. Not as healthy as obviously if you're changing for cinnamon, but also interesting and tastes great. 5, milk ice cubes for your cold brew. Use that ice cube tray, pour milk in it next morning, use it for your cold brew. Preston, that's it. 5 hacks every coffee lover should know and use.
5 hacks. We're also going to get that up on the Facebook page. That is something that everybody should take a look at. Uh, just because Joe, had to do it in it, but he killed it. Definitely under a minute. And I'll also let you know that all of those hacks are something I'm going to try.
Agreed. Me too.
Joe, that was a great job. You nailed the Stranger Weird Things on the web. I'm giving you a gold star
Thank you.
for this
Thank
week.
you.
You're getting a gold star. I should give you two, okay? Damn it, I should give you two gold
Does that
stars.
take my
But
demerit away for the other couple weeks?
it takes your demerit away, and I'd also like to say, you've brought up maids twice in a week. So, you talk about someone that has something going on in their head. But I think maybe you are very partial to those maids. I think you might be very partial to those maids.
I'm just looking for a cleaning lady.
Joe, I know the next segment is also something that you brought up to us, and it's the junk
Junk
file.
file. Junk
Something
file.
every week, folks, goes into the junk file.
Trash.
It has a chance to redeem itself, but it won't be that week, and I can guarantee you it won't be the next week. But it has a chance to redeem itself. Joe, you have selected the junk file for this week. Would you like to present it, sir?
It is silly and over strict drone flying rules. Now, these rules I got off the Canadian website, but you can expect them to be, if you're living in America, you can probably expect your state and even the country, because it's usually countrywide rules, federal rules. Um,
Right,
they can be pretty
right.
similar. They may not be the exact same, but I got a general scale for you. So I'll go
Okay.
ahead and start here. Number
Yep,
one,
go right ahead.
closer than 240 feet from buildings, vehicles, vessels, animals, peoples, or crowds. Now, if you think about that, that's a lot of good footage all these creators are not able to do anymore because of these strict rules. Your best footage is around crowds, buildings, peoples, and animals and nature. Am I wrong?
I agree with you. I agree with you. We were on the same page so far.
Number two, if you can't see it at all times, you shouldn't be flying it.
I also agree.
That one's kind of tough. That one's kind of tough. I think that one's stupid because
Here's the.
go ahead. Well,
Okay, go ahead. Go. No, yeah.
I was just gonna say it's kind of stupid because, well, what if there's trees or something, or what if I have to kind of fly over water and I not necessarily see it, or
Well, here's the thing. I'm very liberal when it comes to the drone laws, as long as it's in the general area of where it's at. It's okay. I'm out here in the
yeah,
country. Okay, I'm out here in the country, and it's a lot of cornfields, wind turbines, things of that nature. Probably not going to be flying my drone in that general direction. Um, of any type of turbine or any type of uh, industrial
right,
building. Um, what I will say is that in bigger cities, New York, north of me, Chicago, San Diego, Las Vegas, you probably want to stray away from using drones inside big cities. Um, there's a lot of commercial flights that go through there. You could, at the same time, you're causing other people to be concerned who were on the rooftops, and all of a sudden, oh look, there's a drone that just flew by my head. And a lot of that happens in the cities where people go out on their balconies. Everybody has a somewhere they can walk out to, and then you're outside a lot. Um, so I would just say that. you know, a general area. It really depends on where you live, because really I'm okay with the general area. Oh, I know it's in this area here, but if you can't get, how can you guarantee my
Yeah.
safety? That's the only problem I have with it. So other than that, I really I agree with that based on, like you said, that's kind of like a general scale. I think it's kind of like it differs
Yeah.
state to state, like it would in like it would in
Hmm.
provinces.
Okay.
Go ahead
Number
and
three.
continue.
This one's pretty strict. If your full name, address, and number are not on your drone, you shouldn't be flying it. So you kind of have to, drones drop. They fall, they hit trees, they drop. Um, you have to have everything on it, your name, address, and number. And that's for, obviously, if law enforcement sees your drone and it falls, or they grab it, or they follow it to it lands, uh, and you don't have your ID on you or whatever, uh, they got it. It's on the drone.
It's theirs. Yeah, absolutely.
And then the final one is don't fly your drone higher than 290 feet.
Okay. What would you be doing flying higher than that, though? That's my question.
Just,
Michelle, all you need to do is probably go up about 100 feet in the air to get a good aerial view.
I mean, I guess it depends. It all depends on what you're shooting. Now, I'm just trying to defend people who create footage and videos with drones. That's all I'm trying to defend. Uh,
I'm on your side. There's some things in there that I agree with. Your name, your address. I mean, that should be on there because the drone is yours. It's your property. If something happens to it, I mean, I would want all my stuff to be engraved on it.
yeah, and I think actually
That way,
that's
no
what
one
they
just,
want. To be honest.
yeah, and then, yeah, that way, if it does go missing or someone steals it because it's worth a lot of
Right.
money, and you could easily resell that to someone who doesn't even know what it is but knows what a drone
Right.
is. Might not know how it works, might not know the mechanics of it, but they know it's a drone and they know they can get a lot of money for it. So yeah, you could easily resell those. Um, so yeah, in engraving a name, I mean I'm okay with initials, but I think the name is important. Some a name on there, some way to connect with you. I mean, the phone number is one thing. I mean, an email address, something
Yeah.
like that should be there, a substitution for that. Um, and other than that, I really agree with the 290 feet in the air, because after 290 feet, I'm just trying to think, unless you're in New York, you got to be careful about where your drone's at because you're sending it up there. You don't know if a plane's coming by, flying in, about to land. Same thing in Chicago at O'Hare anyway, the two big airports. Um, I mean, the same thing goes to California for LAX, you know. So I mean, I just think just be
Yeah.
careful. Just be careful and don't be up to no good, 'cause you'll
Yeah.
get
You will.
caught. Just be careful and don't be up to no good. You'll get caught. So that's my advice. But most of those rules I'm not really opposed to them. I think as time goes and the wheels keep rolling on this drone movement, because I'm a big fan of the drone movement. I know you are. Um, Look, this is just something that is going to happen. It's something that whenever there's something fun, there's going to be fun police. So you got to be ready for that.
Yeah.
Now, Joe, we're going to move into uh, one of basically the last part of the show besides our final
Hmm.
thought. I know, the viewers and the listeners are very upset about
Yep.
this because it's coming to a close, but we're going to leave you with a great hidden gem of the
Yes, we
week.
are.
Our hidden gem of the week comes from International Movie Database. I have watched this show. Um, it is called Emerald City. Now, here's the beautiful thing about this show. It's an adventure show, a drama, a fantasy, and from my understanding, they are planning to make a second season. Um, when I did the research on this, I do know it's rated TV 14 and up, and it came out in 2016 is when it debuted. It is a modern reimagining of the stories that led to The Wizard of Oz.
Right.
So not The Wizard of Oz, but a modern day reimagining of the stories that led to the Wizard of
Right.
Oz. So, you're not going to see the typical yellow brick road and the typical straw man, the tin man. I mean, you're not going to see
No.
these things. So, this is going to be a totally new
Right.
take on it. Um, and it's modern day, very, very adventure filled, I would say. I would try to stray away from that action word and just go, it's very adventure
Right.
filled. It is an adventure. You're on a journey with the main character from the beginning of the show.
Yep.
And sit back and enjoy it. Just sit back and enjoy it because I've just started it and I can tell you I'm already
Yeah.
hooked. It's got a 7.4 rating out of 10
And that's on IMDb.
on that, and that's on the International Movie Database.
Well, I just wanted to note that it does, just for any listeners who are actually curious in Emerald City, who saw, oh, maybe I'll look it up or check it out. Um, it kind of has its Game of Thrones feels at times, but to sum it up, I'd say it's a clash of science and magic. Um, they definitely have both elements in there. And here's the thing. So they finished their first season, right, Preston? And there's 10 episodes.
Yes. Yep, 10
They're trying
episodes.
to figure out if the ratings did good enough and the demographics are right to do another season. Now, how they look at it in showbiz, they look at the for most Showtime, HBO series like that who host on these networks, they look at demographics between 18 years old and 49 years old.
Right.
Okay. Um,
That is the target range
that's
for
the
TV.
target range for TV, especially things that are Showtime, Showcase, HBO. The 18 to 19, or sorry, 18 to 49 demographic for Emerald City started strong. They started out with a 1.0, which is basically breaking even, right? It's basically breaking even, and they did that with
Yep.
4.4 million viewers. And they started to sink near the middle of the season, but as the season actually went on into the later episodes, they went down to they went down all the way to 2.3 million viewers, and then they brought it back up to 2.8, and the demographic being at 0.7. So they didn't break even, but at least they're bringing something back. I'm sure that more of the adventure and the exciting things that you're talking about are probably coming into more aspect in more of the episodes. So I don't know.
Yes.
I hope
Yes.
they go to the next one because we like this one.
Yeah, and I like how you broke it down. I'll also say if you look on the International Movie Database, it has 2016 with a dash next to it with no ending. So they are
Right.
planning to go forward with this show, but if the ratings aren't there, like you said, then they'll fill in that 2016 dash with the 2016 on the
Right.
end of it. But uh, otherwise, it's planning the continuation is planned, and it's just going to be about beans.
Yeah.
Um, Joe, I have a final thought. It's very important to me. Um, I'm not going to take too much time on this here. Um, my final thought for today, and honestly, Joe, for every, is to enjoy your time here. Every day matters. The day counts. You can't get time back. Time is only spent.
Right.
Please enjoy your time here. Enjoy your days here. Remember, please and thank you goes a long way. If someone's having a bad day, don't be scared to ask them why they're having a bad day. If you see somebody crying, don't feel timid about asking them why they are crying and what you can do to help. Joe, I know you will, I know I will, but I want the listeners to know that we really appreciate their time, we love them, and we want them to enjoy their time. Spend it wisely. Listening to us is a wise choice because at least we're going to give you solid topics and we're going to give you a breakdown and a rundown of the news. And we're going to do it our way. I dedicate this podcast to a good friend of mine who's no longer with us. Her name's Leanna Pravitt. prayed for her yesterday for a safe travel to the other side. I will ask you to do the same. If you're not a religious person, I understand. But this is dedicated to her. Um, she had her own business. She was only 24, and she had a lot going for her. And she didn't lose her battle. Today's the day we remember her as she won her battle. Joe, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I just wanted to say, that was really nice of you, Preston. We do dedicate this show to her, and just wanted to make sure that everyone's checking out our website, riverstmarketing.com. Also on Facebook, our Instagrams, and personal YouTube channels are all going to be linked down below. We thank you for your time. We thank you for spending this time with us once a week. We appreciate any support. And just remember, guys, work towards anything. If we're going to be able to do it, so are you. And enjoy life. We love you.
Enjoy life. We love you all. Have a good night. We'll be back this weekend with another podcast.
Later.
Later.